Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text, we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the 6th Sunday after Pentecost, and we're looking at the Psalm specifically, but all the other texts kind of intermingle with it. And I'm looking at the Psalm because it really drives home this idea of watering, that it's God that waters the earth, that it's this just this connection to watering. The gospel lesson has to do with the seed and the soil, and there's just the sense that in these texts there's this connection to the water, that the seed falls in the soil, but the fact is that the water feeds it and claims it and helps it grow. And I'm keep coming back to the Psalm and ultimately drawing it back to the waters of baptism, that we are claimed and we find our identity and who we are in the waters of baptism. The item I am using is a watering can. Now it's I found it at the Dollar Tree in the summer toys, the water toy section, and there was a little basket with kind of different things like that. So I found this watering can. They had one, and so I don't know if you don't find a watering can, you can find a spray bottle. You could find there's other different watering dispensing tools. If you have a sprinkler, if you have a spray head for a hose. But just this idea of talking about watering, that using this can to plant the seeds, and we do that, and then we water, and tying this into our baptism, that in our baptism, as we were watered, as the water was poured over our heads, and God claimed us as God's child, then we grow in the faith, and as we so I'm working on it. It's an idea that's using this. It's germinating. It's this idea that is growing in as I think about it. But when I've thought about this text, I tend to look at the kinds of soil, and how when I looked at the Psalm this time, it reminded me that God waters all of the soil, that God's grace falls upon all of us, and that is a good and wonderful thing. And with the waters of baptism, promising to claim us all, that in that gift of grace, God's grace pours out upon the world, and claiming the world as God's again. And so that's where I'm going. I'm using the watering can and really focusing on the idea of growth and the watering versus the soil itself, or the seed itself. But the act of God feeding us and claiming us. So, hope you can use that as a springboard for your own thinking around your children's sermon. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a fantastic week.